and welcome to the daily audio experience for the 13th of December 2020. I think today is going to be a very good episode. If you remember yesterday, it wasn't that great, and I said that I'd try and have a better episode for today, and I think I have. I've got a few things lined up. This is going to be like a proper show this time. I've got all sorts ready that we can do. So I think this is going to be the most professional one yet, because the first two were pretty unprofessional. But this one should be alright. Just before I start, I know I've said this a few times, but I don't listen back to the recordings. So if there's a problem with the audio, like it's like I'm blowing into the mic or something like that, if I'm blowing into the mic, then you gotta let me know in the comments, because I literally won't find out otherwise, because I don't listen to the recordings. And also, I don't like to talk when people are close, and people are getting close right now, so I'm gonna have to be quiet for a minute. There's like two young people, well I say young, they're older than me, but they look like, they're trying to have a bit of fun, so I'll be quiet. But
I can see why it's closed.
Do you want to go back your way?
No. What do you do? I've got snowshoes on, how do you know?
Oh, hang on, so I was prepared to be on you're all wearing snowshoes.
okay, sorry about that guys, they've gone past now, and I've just realised that there's basically shit on my hand, and I think it's come from my shoe. It's I hate this, like, it's the worst thing ever. Ew. Luckily I brought a water bottle. I mean, I'm just sitting down in like a forest, and I didn't expect this to happen, but okay. So excuse me 1 second whilst I wash my hands with water. Absolutely disgusting, but I've got it off. What a terrible start to a show that I thought was going to be really good. I wanted to sit down here in this forest area, but now I don't want to sit down here. Let's find a nice clean patch, but that's just disgusting, honestly. Right, I'm going to sit here. Ugh. It's just gross when something like that happens, because you're thinking, where else is it? Disgusting. Ugh. Well, the show must go on. I don't know. I don't like sitting down now. Okay, I'll just sit here. So anyway, as I was saying, so I've got a good show, I believe, prepared. Because yesterday it wasn't very good. Oh, I just don't know where to sit down. This is so bad. What a horrible interruption. So yeah, those two people who just walked past were like, they were probably about 20 something. And they were making all these sorts of, they're like a couple I suppose, making all these sorts of jokes to each other. I don't know whether you could hear it or not. But, okay. I've come back and I've sit down in exactly the same place I was before. I don't like it. I'm standing up again. Okay, I'm gonna sit here. Right. I'm committing. Okay. I've sat down. Right, so that's disgusting, but now we can get on with the show. So yeah, I've got a good show prepared, hopefully. And there was something else I wanted to say before we started, but I can't remember. Anyway, so we'll jump straight into it. So like I said, today I've actually got some proper things to review and stuff like that. We're going to talk about, so, a little story. Well, it's not a story, but it's a nice topic of conversation for a show like this. So, yesterday, I was watching YouTube, and then an ad came up on the video, which happens all the time, obviously. But this ad was for a movie trailer, and it really took my interest. Because, well, I wasn't really watching it, I was just kind of, because it's an ad, I mean, you don't watch the ads, do you? You just zone out, and that's what I did. But then I heard them say, remember, it's a movie trailer, and they were like, the line was, the COVID-23 virus has evolved. And that immediately caught my attention. I thought, is this a film about COVID, the COVID virus? And then, so I shut down the ad and I went and looked up the actual trailer for it. And I watched the trailer, and sure enough, it's a movie about lockdown. I think it's like set in the future, like lockdown, and I guess the COVID-19 virus has evolved into the COVID-23 virus. And I just thought, what on earth? Why on earth has someone made a movie? And it was like a proper high budget, a movie about the virus. And we're not even, I mean, we're still living it. I just thought that was crazy. And it's like a proper dramatic film. Like it almost felt like a zombie movie or something like that. I couldn't believe it. And then when I really watched the trailer properly, I think the film is actually about, you know, the way some people, conspiracy theories, say that the whole COVID thing is a way for the government to lock us in and control us. Well, I think that's actually what the movie was about. I couldn't tell properly, but it kind of seemed like it was about that. I thought, I can't believe this, you know. And one of the comments I thought was really funny, in the comments of the trailer, it said, one of the symptoms of COVID is lack of taste. And I thought that's really funny. Because obviously they were referring to the fact that it's a very tasteless idea for a film. You're making a film about a pandemic, which is affecting like so many people. And you're making it whilst the pandemic is still happening. Couldn't believe my ears. So anyway, for this show, what I've done is I've got an article about this movie by The Independent, and I'm going to read it for you. This is like proper professional, isn't it? This is the sort of thing they would do on a proper show. So let's read the article, because I don't know much about this film at all. I've only seen the trailer, and I thought it seemed pretty tasteless. But let's see what this article says. Apparently, according to this, the film's already out. It says the first reviews have dropped for Michael Bay's Songbird, and critics appear to be divided. Although documentaries have been released concerning the pandemic, such as Totally Under Control, a shocking movie about Trump's administration's handling of the virus, Songbird, is the first fictional film based on COVID-19. So it seems that it is about the fact that the government are locking us in. It says, I guess I won't read the whole thing, but it says the science fiction thriller produced by the Transformers director and directed by Adam Mason. Adam Mason, I believe, directed, I can't remember now, but well, let me think what he directed. I can't remember, but Michael Bay, who's produced this film, is, a lot of you might have heard of Michael Bay. He did the Transformers films. But what did Adam Mason do? Can't remember now. But I remember thinking, no, they were alright films. Anyway. It was written during America's lockdown that began in March and was shot in July. So it was quite a while ago they started shooting it. But I guess they followed through all the way. I mean, July, what was happening in July? January, February, March, April, May, June, July. I guess that was the start of lockdown, wasn't it? Roughly. Set in the near future, Songbird sees Los Angeles under martial law in a world where COVID has mutated into a new and more deadly virus called COVID-23. Let's see. I won't read the whole thing, we'll just skim through it. Yeah, the main character in this film is supposed to be immune to the virus, and he's racing to save his girlfriend from a quarantine camp. It's pretty crazy. I don't know why it's called Songbird. Here, the Hollywood Reporter penned a scathing review, and it says, despite the high-stakes drama, there's nary a compelling moment throughout it. Some of the characteristics are so absurdly one-note that it's hard to not think that the film is meant to be a parody. And I thought that too when I was watching the trailer. It seemed like a parody. But I'll be interested to watch it now, actually. I must admit the trailer looked good. That's what I thought anyway. I mean, you might not agree if you watched it, but I thought the trailer actually looked good. So I am kind of interested to see what a film like this would actually turn out like. Let's see. Someone here says it isn't enough to sustain 5 minutes of video, let alone a long feature. Okay. Someone says, Bay produced the film, but as it's flawed and cluttered as anything he's directed. So, there's no positive reviews so far. The shot under quarantine Songbird is mostly forgettable. It's fairly thoughtful, okay? Let's see. Let's get to the end of the article, see what it says. So here's the last paragraph. Most promising was the Times review of the film, which gave it 4 stars. Kevin Maher calls the movie a high-octane action satire and commends it for consistently treading a delicate path between giddy exploitation and provocative social commentary. That's crazy. And it says at the very bottom, Songbird is currently out in UK cinemas. Well, I haven't been going to the cinema, but I would be interested to see this film. Perhaps once it comes out on DVD, I'll not watch it on DVD, if you know what I mean. So there you go. I thought that might be a good... I'm trying to make this show professional. And I think that's the sort of stuff they would do. They would read an article about a movie. Before we move on to the next section of today's show, I'm going to put my coat on. So I'm going to put you over here on the side, and then I'm going to put my coat on, so excuse me for about a minute. Okay, I'm back with my coat on. I'm nice and warm. I'd quite like to sit in the tree because I don't like sitting on the floor here. It's horrible. Yeah, I'll tell you a bit about where I am. So yesterday I was up on a hill, wasn't I? And this is a different place now. There's less people around because that was a problem yesterday. There were so many people. There's less people around here, but there's no benches, so you kind of have to sit on the floor. But yeah, still don't really know where I want my main location of filming of recording to be. I mean, this is a nice place. It'd be better if it was dry, or something like that. So anyway, let's move on to the next section. Oh yeah, so you see I've just got a few bullet points here, just I'm trying to make a bit of a show, you know what I mean? So this is a bit of a like, what have I been up to sort. Oh yeah, before we move on, actually, I've been doing a lot of thinking about whether I should reveal my name or not, because as I said last time, it could be kind of fun to have a bit of anonymity. So it's like, you listen to the show, but you don't really know who I am or what I look like. But then again, if you don't know that stuff, then you don't really have much connection. I feel like what would make this show good is it's every day, it's an hour every day. It's like reliable, you know. I'm always there. But wouldn't it be a bit more wholesome if you knew my name? So my name is Ben. That is my name. So this next part of the show is a little bit about my life, Ben. Like what I've been up to, sort of thing. What has Ben been up to? Well, yesterday I ordered some library books, because the libraries are obviously not open because of the virus, but my local library system is doing a thing where you can actually order books. Well, you actually don't get to order them, they select them for you, but you can put in your preferences. Like, you can say, I like science fiction, I like romances, and then they'll pick out some books for you. You have to fill in the form online. I did that last night, and I'm going to collect the books on Tuesday. We don't know what books I'm going to get yet. They're going to give them to me. I'm going to read them, and I'll probably review them on this show. But looking forward to seeing what books they choose for me. I've asked for 3 books, and well, I can't wait to see what they give me. I didn't put any like preferences in. I said just find me something unique and interesting, which is exactly what I'm looking for, really. I don't read much, so I don't really know what I like. So I just said unique and interesting, and hopefully they can provide. So let's move on. So there's not much more to say about that. I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about what I'm up to. So that's something I did yesterday. Ordered some books. I tried to order them before, but the order didn't go through, so I tried again this time, and it looks like it's been successful. So, next thing. Oh yeah. So we're going to read another thing now. when I was looking for what I was going to do today, I thought, well, is there anything I could read that I have written? And then I came across something I wrote in the 7th month. What's that, August? So I wrote it in August. Well, I didn't just write it, it was a whole thing. You'll see what I mean in a second. And I thought I could like read it back, because I think it's pretty good. So what I did was, back in August, I guess, when you go on the Google Play Store and you go on the games section, you can actually play games that have not been officially released yet. You can play them in their like early access state, and when you do that, you can actually review the game, and it will, I guess the review goes straight to the developers or something like that. So it's a way that the developers can put their game up onto the Play Store. People can play the game. You know, it's in the beta phase, or beta, and so you can review it, and then they can improve the game, so when it is time to actually properly release it, they'll have a decent game. So I thought, that's kind of fun. Maybe I should download some of these games and review them, and then actually send in my reviews on the Play Store. And I thought, I'm going to be really harsh with these reviews. I'm going to be really picky, because I thought, well, you know what, it'd be kind of fun if I review loads of these early access games and just give my brutal opinions, so perhaps then I could build up a name for myself as an early access game reviewer. That was my intention. I wanted it to be like, you put out a game for early access and then you think, oh my god, you know, I wonder if Ben is going to review my game. What's he going to say? That was the sort of intention. So let's see what I reviewed. Okay. So the first game that I played, that I reviewed, was a game called Mosquito. Now, if you're interested, go on the App Store and play it. It might still be in early access, I'm not sure. But go and play it and see what you think. It's called Mosquito. I'll describe roughly what the game was about, what you did in the game. For those of you who, well, I don't think many of you would know. It didn't seem like it would, you know, it was just a simple game. So the game was, you played as a mosquito, and obviously mosquitoes go towards the light. It was like a 2D game where there was loads of light bulbs, and you actually hit the light bulbs on and off, and the mosquito would fly towards them. And so you actually had to navigate the mosquito across the room by turning these light bulbs on and off. And so it was an interesting mechanic to it. I played the game, and then I reviewed it. So I'm going to reread you my review. I gave it one. I just bit my tongue then. Like, I've never done that before when I'm speaking. I gave it 1 star, which is brutal. Brutal 1 star, but that was what I was doing. I was trying to be brutal and, you know, give the 5 stars to people who really deserve it. So Mosquito, here's what I wrote. I said 1 star, and then I said, my name is Ben. I put my surname in it too, actually. But, well, I won't tell you my surname, actually. I said, my name is Ben. Okay, I said, my name is Ben, and I've just played your game for 15 minutes, which is true. I think the concept of this game has potential, and I enjoyed the idea of having to turn the light bulbs on and off. However, I think the execution of both the visual and level design is subpar due to what I believe to be a lack of creativity. I think young children might find that this game can help develop their puzzle-solving skills. However, I don't think it will benefit their creativity or imagination very much. Essentially what I was saying is, it's not a bad idea for a game, but it was clearly a children's game. And so what I was saying is, I mean, you might say I've got pretty extreme views on technology. Essentially what I was saying is this game is not actually going to help a child in the slightest. A child will be much better off playing with bricks or something like that, building blocks. So essentially what I was saying is, this game, this electronic game, is not going to stimulate a child's creativity or imagination, so it's rubbish. That's essentially what I was saying, and I still kind of stick by that. But if it wasn't a game for a child, I might have gave it 2 stars, because it was an interesting idea. So now you get the idea of how brutal I was. Let's go to the next one, which was called Rune Lord's Arena. Actually, we'll do that one last, and there's a reason for that. The next one we'll go for is Sky Bandit. Now this one wasn't bad. Sky Bandit was basically, you play as, let me try and remember. You were falling down from the sky, and you hadn't, I can't quite remember, but I think you were falling down from the sky, and you had to jump on the enemies. Yeah, that was it. You had to jump on the enemies. I think that was it anyway, you just kept jumping. Right, to kill them. And there was bosses and stuff, and actually I thought, you know what, not bad actually. So what did I give it? I gave it 2 stars. Very generous of me. And then I said, my name is Ben, and I've just played your game for an hour, which is longer than the last one. I think the visual design of this game is very appealing, and the colours used are very nice. The gameplay is exciting, engaging, and it has a satisfying feel to it. However, though the game does feel fresh, I don't think it achieved anything significantly new. Also, for me, the game was lagging a huge amount, and though this was likely due to my poor quality of phone, I'm sure there are ways you could have improved that. So, basically what I was saying is, you know what, the game was good. It was a good game, but the problem for me was, as a reviewer, it wasn't achieving anything new. I've seen games like it, and I was also saying that it was lagging. That was my main problem with it. It was just lagging too much. And like I said, that was probably due to my phone. I've got an LG K8, and it's kind of rubbish, but at the same time, I play games like that, and they don't lag. And on the same phone, obviously, so I think it's kind of their fault. So I kind of said that too. I think I actually, yeah. But I gave 2 stars for that one, so I kind of liked it, I guess. Okay, and I reviewed 4 of these games, so here's the third one. It's called Shake It Up. And Shake It Up was, let me try and remember. So if you've played Yahtzee, then you've basically played this game. Because as I remember, it was, oh no, it wasn't. Actually, I think it was kind of like Yahtzee. I think it was basically Yahtzee. If you played that, you basically roll dice, and then you you got to roll all sorts of dice. It's kind of like darts, in a way. Well, it's kind of like poker, but it's kind of like darts and poker. It's a dice game, right? So I said in the review, well, first of all, I gave it 1 star, so I didn't really enjoy it. I said, my name is Ben, and I've just played your game for 15 minutes. 15 minutes was kind of like the minimum I'd play a game for. I felt very bored playing this game, and I thought that it seemed to have no originality or way to stand out. The gameplay seemed very basic, and the visual design looked to have minimal creativity. The game might be liked more by a group of friends who are looking to have a quick bit of fun together. But for me, I couldn't enjoy it. Also, it was lagging for me, which is a problem, even if the cause may have been my poor phone. So, what was I saying there? I was saying, the game's rubbish. And it was just boring, really. It was kind of like, it was like a Facebook game almost, if you know what I mean. just like poor quality. And I was very brutal. I mean, these messages go straight to the developers, I believe. Well, I'm pretty sure that's true, and I'll tell you why later. But they go straight to the developers, and I can't believe how brutal I was, but it was fun. And again, it was lagging on my phone, and you can blame my phone, but at the same time, I play games like that. There should be no reason for it to lag. I cannot blame the developers. One more game, and this one is particularly interesting because I got a response. Now, I think I should have it on my phone screenshotted. So hopefully, I don't know if I have now. Well, we'll read it first, and then I'll have a look to see if I can find the response. But so just bear in mind, this got responded to by the developers. And I don't really feel bad either. I mean, I was so brutal with it, but I don't really feel that bad. Anyway, the game was called Rune Lords Arena. Again, you can play it if you want. And it was kind of like, how do I describe it? It was kind of like, it was like well, it's like a level game, but you played like, it was kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but you attacked enemies. It was like a turn-based game. But there was a really big problem with it, and I address it in this review. So I said, my name is Ben, and I've just played your game for 15 minutes. I quite enjoyed looking at the art that was displayed to me on the loading screen, but I found everything after that basic and unoriginal. I do not enjoy when a game bombards me with its tutorial by forcing me to click on certain areas of the screen for a quarter of an hour whilst I sit and watch. I didn't play for long, but I don't see why the auto battle is a good idea, because it seems to me that it removes the point. And I'm laughing just because it's so brutal. That was probably the most brutal one yet, and literally they responded to it. But the last point I say the auto battle. I mean, by the way, you got to give me credit of how well these are written, in my opinion, anyway. I said the auto battle is a good idea. No, I don't see why the auto battle is a good idea because it seems to remove the point. Basically, there was this system where you could actually, it was a turn-based game, you know, where you take it in turns to hit the enemy. You could actually put it on auto battle, and it just did it for you. It just fought the enemies for you. You literally didn't have to do anything. It's like, what on earth is that? What's the point of that? You want to play you don't even want that. I mean, some people might want the function there, but you don't want it there at all, because why would you want it? You want to play the game. You don't just want to sit there and watch it. And then I made another good point, I think. You know, there's so many games like this where you start playing it, and then it gives you this tutorial where it's like, okay, click this and click this and click this and now click this, and it's like, can I play the game or what? So I kind of got angry with this game. I gave it 1 star. Right, now I've got to look through my phone and pray to God I don't think I kept it. I think I screenshotted it at one point, but to be honest, I think I've probably deleted it since. And I don't have Wi-Fi because I'm outside, and I don't have data. So I give it a quick. I mean, I'm not going to be able to get it, unfortunately. But perhaps I'll try and explain roughly what it said, but maybe next week tomorrow I'll look for it and give you the actual review. But it said something like, it was a really nice one, like really nice, and it said something like, thank you for your review, we are looking to improve the game and thank you for playing it. It was something like that anyway. And I thought, wow, you know, I've just been so brutal, and they were like, oh, thank you. So fair play to them. I mean, I didn't really want to hurt anyone's feelings with these reviews, but I think it's important to be brutally honest. I mean, I didn't enjoy any of the games. Actually, I did enjoy Sky Bandit, but it lagged so much, it was unbearable. So if it didn't lag, I'd actually have really liked that game. But maybe I was a bit too harsh on Mosquito as well. Like, I was just like, nobody said it was a children's game, I just decided that, and then started to have a go at it for that, which isn't really fair. So maybe I was a bit harsh on that one too. But you know what? I think in general, I think they were good reviews. I think I gave good reviews. And tomorrow I'll give you the exact response of the Rune Lords Arena developers, because you might be interested in that. So there we go. I mean, those were my reviews for the game, and that's taken up a nice chunk of this episode, which is good, because I don't have much left to do. I've got one more thing that I can do. Hang on, someone's coming, so I gotta act normal, sit down normally, can't look too weird. I mean, I'm just sitting down in this forest, like, in a random area. And occasionally people walk through here, but it's quite rare, actually. That's why I chose to go here. But people are walking through right now. Not as bad as it was yesterday. If you listened to yesterday's episode, I was whispering the whole time, because everyone just kept walking around, like, and there was so many old people just stopping, walking and then stopping and just staring at things. Drove me kind of crazy. But anyway, these people are approaching, but I can talk for a little bit longer until they get really close. I just feel uncomfortable talking to my phone when people are close. So once they get a bit closer, I'll be quiet, and maybe you can even be able to hear them. But after that, once they've passed, we've got a text adventure to embark on. And I'll explain exactly what that is after, but it's quite good. I think it'll be fun to do. I think we'll have a good time. Now, I'm going to act as if I'm just like scrolling through my phone now, so see you in a minute. Okay. They're walking away now. Couldn't believe that. Stupid, stupid people. They walked all the way up here. I mean, it's muddy where I am. Lots of muddy patches. They walked all the way up the path. Realised that it was too muddy. And we're like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And now they're walking back the same way they came. This place where I am, by the way, this is my place. I come here all the time. This is where I come. Nobody else is allowed here. It really does annoy me when people come to my place, to my patch. That's why I should call it a patch, because it is a patch. It's a patch in the middle of like a heathery land. And there's trees in this patch, and it's beautiful, beautiful really. And they come into my patch. Oh. And they had a dog. I don't know if you heard the dog come right up to me. It was like one of those pugs. Disgusting. Disgusting creature. And it wasn't even on a lead. A dog like that should be on a lead. So anyway, as I was saying, I was going to do a text adventure now, wasn't I? But do you know what? 20 minutes left. Is it worth starting it now, or should I just do it tomorrow? I don't know how long it'll take. Maybe it's worth waiting for tomorrow. Could be something, you know. It'll be lots of content in that. Might be best to leave it till tomorrow, but 20 minutes. Let's start it now, because I think it might actually not be that good content anyway. You'll see why, but essentially, I don't know if you've ever played interactive fiction. Back in the old days, when there was no computer graphics, people had to make their games through text, you know, typing. And that is where interactive fiction has come from. You may have played some before. Essentially, you navigate the game by typing stuff like south, that will take you south, north, that will take you north. You can take items, you type take, say there's a scissors in the room, you say take scissors, you take the scissors. You, cut paper with scissors, you can type something like that in and it'll do it for you. You'll get the gist as we go through. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but I've just downloaded a new game onto my interactive fiction runner. It like runs the code for it, I guess. It's a short game apparently, so that's why I've chose it. It'll be good for this show. Nice and short. It won't go on for too long. And it's called well. Let's read it. So here we go. It says, "You're in. The plan now is simple. Go to your lab, plant the bomb, and run. The prototype will be destroyed. The military will have no way to continue the experiment. No one will die. The guard is out securing the grounds. The building is empty. You have 6 minutes." And then it says the title of the game. It's called All Things Devour, written in 2004. I've never played this game before, by the way, so let's see how we go. And it says, foyer. That means we're in the foyer. A darkened foyer, presided over by a security desk near the north wall. Floating above it in the capacious darkness is a small landing, a set of stairs both risen up to meet it, and stretches downward into the darkness. In the north wall is a closed automatic door. To the south is a set of automatic doors leading into the inky night. And now basically you can pretty much type whatever you can dream of, really, and it will react to it. Now, I didn't really focus on that, what I've just read. It's hard to actually read it out loud and focus on it, I think, because I'm thinking about two things at once, about speaking it for the recording. But I'm in a darkened foyer. There's a desk near the north wall, floating above it, okay. Set of stairs, risen up. Well, okay. Let's just go for something. Set of stairs. Okay. North wall is a closed automatic door. Okay, let's go. So we just type in north. Okay, I've just typed that in, and we click enter. And it says there is no obvious way to get the automatic door open. Seems a bit ridiculous, since it's an automatic door, but let's try. It says to the south is a set of automatic doors leading to... Okay, let's try south. Okay, I typed that, and it says, oh my god, talk about a short story. Oh right, I'll read this for you then. So it says, first pressing the green exit button, the main doors open onto the night. You slip out into the night, darting quickly through the Cambridge shadows until you reach the quiet corner where you left your car. Exhausted, you gently start the cold motor and roll off towards the interstate. Morning finds you in a truck shop cafe near Woodstock, New York. You sit there anxiously watching the morning news as you sip your bitter coffee. Wednesday, 13th of October 2004, precisely 9:29 a.m. this morning, a catastrophe of unprecedented scale occurred. An immense explosion that could only have been an atomic nature tore through the city and suburbs of Boston, MA, don't know what that stands for, destroying all in its path. Casualties are expected to number in the millions. The President has declared a state of emergency across the nation, and the military is mobilizing for a possible war with the as of yet unknown enemy. Then it says, this thing all things devours. This is not interesting to listen to, is it? I'll get to the end anyway. This thing all things devours. Birds, beasts, trees, flowers, gnaws iron, bites steel, grinds hard stones to meal, slays king, ruins town, and beats high mighties down. And then it says, you have failed. So apparently we failed. I mean, it's hard to convey what's going on through the audio, isn't it? But we've only got about 10 minutes left. I'll just carry on. It says, would you like to restart? Yeah, let's restart. I only did one thing. I just moved south, and then it was like, you died, basically. I don't even know what I'm trying to do. Okay. If we go up, type up. So I restarted the game, and now I remember the game said a set of stairs both risen up, so I typed up. You're on a small landing hanging in the still darkness above the foyer. In the north lies a closed automatic door. Let's go north. Okay, I type north, and it says you can't since the automatic door is in the way. I think that's a joke, isn't it? Like an actual joke. Let's go back down. I've typed down, we've gone back down the stairs. You can examine things in this game. Well, that's how it works in interactive fiction. And I'm back in the foyer, and it says the dog foyer, blah blah, security desk. So I'm going to type in examine security desk. You can do that. Okay, I typed that in, and I clicked enter, and it said a large black desk equipped with 4 CCTV screens showing live feeds from around the complex. There are also 4 buttons labelled basement, first, second, and alarm. I'm going to stop playing this game now, because let's face it, it's not very interesting to listen to, is it? You probably have no idea what's going on. But that's alright, because you know what, we're at the 50-minute mark, pretty much. This is definitely the best episode I've done yet. I think it's been a good amount of content in there. I think when I was reading those reviews for those games, I think that was pretty good, that. I'll have to do something like that in the future. So for the 3rd episode, I think this is not bad. I think I've done a decent job. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I think this one's been alright. And but 10 minutes left. And now I don't really know what to do. I could go for a walk. I'm in a beautiful forest today. Like I said, could go for a nice little walk. You know, I want to get some guests on this show. I'd like the guests to like be able to like call, like if I had thing is, right, here's the problem. I don't have data on my phone, and I never have really. So I'd quite like to have some guests, but you see I do all the shows outside. I've been doing these recordings outside the house. I don't really like speaking in my house. So I'm outside the house. That's where I've been recording. I don't have any data, so I can't like talk to someone on Discord or on WhatsApp perhaps, or something like that. Can't do that because I've got no data. I could call someone, like physically call them with a number, but that costs money, doesn't it? So my thinking is possibly if my parents go out the house, I'll have a guest on and I'll call them over Discord or something like that. Or maybe if I meet someone IRL. But as a viewer, well, you know what? I figured, what I was thinking was, if today was going to be a good episode, which I think it was, I will actually try and promote this show. I'll go on Reddit or something like that, and I'll post this episode. Can you hear those birds, by the way? Listen to that. Making ridiculous sounds, but anyway. I figured if this turns alright, which I think it has, I think it's been a good one, I'll promote it on Reddit and stuff like that. And then maybe I can get a bit of traction. But you know what? I'm not really bothered about, like, here's what I was thinking. All I want for this show, in terms of goals, this is the goal I have, is to get 5 dedicated, not dedicated, but, well, yeah, kind of dedicated, like at least 5 people who are properly engaging with the shows. And, 5 people who put stuff in the comments and stuff like that. That's all I want, just 5. So that's what I'm going to aim for, to get 5 people. And anything after that I'm going to consider a bonus. But really it's not about that. It's not about that life. 5 is all I need, all I want. So it's a humble show. That's what it is. We do humble things. It's not it's just a nice humble show. 7 minutes left. Let me see if there's anything. Oh yeah, another idea I had for this episode was to like screenshot a list of facts, and then we could like review the facts, but I only screenshotted one, and then I thought, actually, this is going to be kind of boring to just review facts, but I have got one here. Would you like to hear it? It said, the world's first speeding ticket was issued in 1902. That's the fact. World's first speeding ticket was issued in 1902. And it's got a bit of context to it. It says, how fast was the offending motorist travelling? A scandalous 45 miles per hour. So there you go. 45 miles per hour. I wonder if that was the first speeding ticket. Do you think it was a law at the time? Or do you think the policeman saw the guy speeding down the road and thought, that's too fast, you know what I mean? Like, you thought, that is too fast. Someone's got to do something about you. Because someone goes speeding down the road, you think, that's dangerous. As a policeman, I'd be like, you've got to slow down. So I reckon it was probably just one random policeman just thought, that's too fast. and I think we need to do something about that. I mean, otherwise it's just a weird fact, isn't it? It would just be a really weird fact. If it was a law, the fact would be speeding tickets were established in 1902. Well, that's how I see it anyway. On the bottom of that, I've actually managed to screenshot a second fact. Actually, just about made it into the screenshot. It says 1 in 4 cars on the UK's road were made in China. I was thinking about cars recently. And I was thinking about, you know, like in comparison to like movies and stuff like that. I mean, when you get movies, you get the big blockbuster movies that go into the cinema, and they're normally like cash grabs, and they're normally, let's be honest, they're not that great. I mean, they're fun to watch, but they're not really works of art. And they're sort of cash grabs, you know, blockbuster movies, and that's fine. But then you actually, if you delve into the world of cinema, you find that there's lots of like arty movies which you can find. You know, I don't know where you'd look for them really. Well, you can just watch them online really. But there's all sorts of like really good movies, but they're more arty and like they're harder to find. And anyway, that's the case for many things really. Wherever you go, like let's take something else for example. I can't think. Like, well, YouTube videos. You get all these YouTube videos that are on the trending page that are just like blockbusters. You know, they're kind of blockbusters. They're like, they make a load of money probably, but they're not actually that good at the end of the day. But then if you really delve into YouTube, you find some really good quality artsy sort of stuff. But then you think of cars, and they're all blockbuster cars. They're all, you never find like a unique car. Like there's never a car like, oh look at that car. I mean, sometimes you see like a rich car and you think wow, but you never actually see a car like, ooh, who made that car? You know, they're all by these same companies. There's no independent artsy cars. They're all blockbusters. And I find that a bit unfortunate. I think anyone who was trying to make an artsy car company, when I say artsy, I don't actually mean like, you know, I just mean like someone putting you know, a unique spin on the car industry. I think if anyone tried to do that, they'd be crushed by the competition. I kind of sound out of breath, don't I? It's because I am. But it's because it's cold, really. It is cold. But as I was saying, you got to let me know how my hosting skills are, because I need to improve, and I don't listen back to the audio, so you really do need to tell me. Okay, now we're heading into the last minute, so I'll close it up. And in conclusion, I think today's been a really good one, really good episode. I think it's had some good content in it compared to the others, which have just been really aimless. And hopefully I will, let's think, I mean tomorrow is Sunday, I'll probably have another something like this tomorrow. So look forward to that. And thank you for listening to the daily audio experience for the 13th of December 2020. I hope to see you tomorrow. I hope to see you every day after that. I mean, you don't really have to come every day. Just come when you want, when you feel like it. And that's it. We're in the last 5, 10 something seconds like that. So have a nice day and goodbye.